Welcome to week 2 of our 8-week Trauma and Triggers Yin Yoga Therapy program. Last week we began to lay the foundation for the series as we worked on beginning to deepen awareness and find safety and nurturing within our own bodies by tapping into those internal regulators that we have, such as our breath, being able to tap into presence. So this week we're going to expand on that capacity as we explore more difficult emotions such as anger, resentment, and how those can store specifically in areas of the body like the hips, the groin, and through the side body. So this is another class where it's going to be important to ground through discomfort as it arises, really using the breath and tapping into presence through this practice. Again, if you need to modify, pause the video, restart, reset at any time, you are free to do so. This is your practice and your safety comes first. For today's class, I do encourage you to have some props, whether you have a yoga bolster or perhaps just some blankets and pillows, whatever you have available to you will be fine. So take a moment to grab what you need and let's go ahead and get started with today's practice. All right, we're going to begin at the center of the mat again with a meditation before we get into our physical practice. Once again, feel free to use a blanket or a pillow to just again slightly wedge the hips, tilting that pelvis forward, helping you to sit tall with a bit more comfort here, as we did it in the last practice. Again, take a moment, find that present but tall posture here. Taking a deep breath in as we lengthen through the spine. As you exhale, allow those shoulder blades to fall down and back, away from the ears. Perhaps inviting those eyelids to close if they haven't already. Take another deep inhale, lengthening through that spine. Let out a deep sigh. Letting go of anything you don't need in this moment. Any thoughts, any concerns or to-dos. Allowing yourself to be fully here. In this moment where life happens, one breath, one heartbeat at a time. Just take one more deep inhale. Sigh it out. Releasing anything you've been carrying that you don't need for the next 90 minutes or so. Taking a moment here to allow the breath to return to its natural rhythm. Taking a gentle scan through the body, observing anywhere holding on to tension, seeing if there's space to soften a bit deeper. Noticing the quality of the breath. Seeing if that rise and the fall is happening in the belly. If it's more in the chest or the shoulders, see if you can soften through that area. Imagining that breath coming between that pubic bone and belly button. Take a moment to observe the state of your mind and emotions today. Your energetic state. Noticing if the thoughts are fast or calm. Go ahead and bring that awareness back to the breath, the rise and fall. For a moment here, just noticing anywhere the thoughts are landing as they leave the present moment. Using discipline to direct the thoughts back to the breath each time you notice they've wandered. Today we're going to settle in a little deeper with another breathing technique. I invite you to place one hand on the low belly, one at that space between the ribs here where the ribs begin to meet. Today we're going to inhale twice through the nose. The first inhale is going to be in that low belly space. The second inhale is going to be through the rib area and up into the chest. And then we're going to exhale again with that slight constriction, that ujjayi breath, like fogging up the mirror as we let out that exhale. So it's going to sound like this. 2 inhales through the nose. Exhale. Joining me when you're ready. 2 sips of air in. Let it go. Shoulder blades softening down and back. Breathing in twice. Exhale, side out. Two sips of air in through the nose. Sighing out that exhale, softening down anywhere there's space to soften. Staying with your own breath here a bit longer. 2 sips in, feeling that belly, that ribs expand. Shoulder blades softening down with that exhale. Feeling relaxation begin to spread throughout the body. Seeing if there's any space to soften, even through the face, through the neck. Two sips of air in, side out. Emptying those lungs completely with the exhale. 2 sips in. Let it go. One more time like this. 2 sips of air in. Exhale. Fully and slowly releasing all that air. Invite those knees or hands to come back to the knees and releasing that breath to its natural rhythm when you're ready. And just noticing if the body has become a bit calmer. Observing anything going on in the mind. Today I'd like to invite you to bring to your mind's eye the mental image, an image of yourself at the end of this program, another 7 weeks from now. Just considering for a moment what changes you'd like to see in yourself. Perhaps feeling a bit more calm, more grounded. Noticing for a moment this snapshot of yourself. What setting you're in, who is around you. How do you feel about yourself and those who are around you? Not clinging to those details of things that we don't have control over, but considering what is the difference between how I feel in that version of myself versus how I feel now. What things would need to shift, what things might I need to let go of, or new habits might I need to invite in order to walk toward that version of myself. And again, holding that vision of yourself in your mind. Once you've noticed what those differences are, whether it's more confidence, more peace, more acceptance, or more surrender. Imagining in your full body right now what it would feel like to embody that intention, to feel confident, to feel at peace, to have acceptance. Allowing the chest and your face to become lighter, more open. And then releasing that when you're ready. Next, I'd like you to consider yourself, bring to that mind's eye once more. 2 years from now, your future self. Again, just bring it to mind, that snapshot. Taking note of where you are, who's around you, what you're doing. Noticing what things you had to let go of to get from your current self to that future self. What are the changes in that internal state of being? State of being emotionally or physically. Once more, bringing in the feeling of that future self. Inviting it into your full body. This embodied intention to begin to teach your nervous system a new way of thinking, of feeling. Just sitting with that for a few moments. Releasing that imagery when you're ready. Again, bring your awareness back into the body. Take another scan, just observing whatever state you're in, whatever's present going on within you today. And today I'm going to invite you to use the mantra, I let go of that which no longer serves me. You're welcome to choose any other positive present tense statement if you wish. Or use that one, and let's go ahead and repeat it a few times mentally. Again, inviting in that embodied intention here. This will be our intention to come back throughout this practice. Breathing in acceptance. Exhaling, release. Let's take one more deep inhale. Exhale, side out. When you're ready, invite those eyes to open. And we are going to get into our physical practice today. Our asanas. We're going to begin with a yogic squat today, and so I'm going to show you some different options for this. The easiest way is going to be start standing up with those toes pointed out here, about hip width apart, then just beginning to squat down. And so if you have really tight ankles and calves, this may not be fully accessible for you today, and you can always sit down as deep as you can onto a couch or an ottoman or anything else as well. You can also use some blocks here to begin to sit those hips down onto, or a bolster, pillows, whatever you have. And if this is within your range of motion today, then we're just going to allow those hips to sink down. Be sure that the feet are flat on the mat here, that we don't have those heels coming up. And you could also even do this against the wall if you have trouble feeling like you're falling backwards. So I'm just going to grab our timer here. Let's take an inhale as we lengthen through the spine, straightening that crown of the head up. As you exhale, begin to fold from those hips first, and then allow the upper body to round down. Just allowing those palms to face up as we find a passive position here. Beginning to open up through the hips, through the groin today. Breathing in deeply, side out. Again, coming back to this breath as the anchor for our practice today. Breathing in acceptance. Exhale, letting go of any judgments, any worries, any fears. Finding peace in this presence. Breathing in. Exhale fully and slowly. Softening into the pose. Just under a minute left here. I'm going to leave you some silence. Just begin connecting with that breath. Connecting with yourself in this moment. Let's take one more deep inhale. As you exhale, begin to gently roll that spine up. And we're just going to come to a seated position on the mat. Again, you can use your blanket or a pillow to just wedge those hips. And don't sit all the way up on it, but allow your hips to almost slide off the edge. Tilt that pelvis. From here, we are going to extend one leg. I'm starting with my left leg extended. The right foot's coming into the inner thigh. Let's begin by inhaling, making sure you're straight and lengthened through that spine. As you exhale, begin folding from the hips, so flat back first as far as you can. Make sure this leg isn't rolling forward. And then if you need, you can find a prop, blanket, or something to rest onto. Come down as far as you can with that flat back. Take another inhale, lengthen. Exhale, chest out and down. Just beginning to settle into the single leg butterfly pose, relaxing any resistance in the ankle, in that lower leg or thigh or hip here. Again, coming back to that breath. Breathing in deeply. Exhale fully and slowly. Each inhale, imagine drawing that breath, that fresh oxygen, into those areas of tension where you notice that stiffness. And as you exhale, I want you to imagine that melting out of the body, bringing in this brain-body connection. So with each breath, we can soften a little deeper. Just a few more breaths here. Take one more deep inhale. Exhale, walking those hands back up. Take your time here, especially if that low back's a little tight. We're just going to take it to the other side now. Extending that right leg if you're doing the same side as I am. You can square up those hips on the edge of that blanket or pillow if you need. Make sure this leg that's extended is not rolling forward here. Those toes are staying up. And we're going to inhale, lengthen through the spine. As you exhale, chest is coming up and out, down last. So finding that length, maybe take another inhale to lengthen once more. Exhale, folding forward as much as you can without forcing it through that upper body. Again, taking any adjustments you need here to find your edge, find that place where you need that stretch and where that area is being targeted. And then settle back in to stillness, limiting any fidgeting, really using that breath to anchor, to root as we breathe through the discomfort. Our element this week is the wood element, which is comprised of the liver and gallbladder meridians. And these run through, again, the sides of our legs, the insides, our side body, and pelvic groin, hip region. And the emotion associated with these elements and restrictions in this area is anger or frustration. And the season associated with this element is wood. It is the season or the element of rebirth, of new beginnings, of beginning to grow deeper roots and have fresh starts. And so it is about letting go of the old, anything that's not serving us, any thoughts, any self-talk or relationships, whatever that may be, and beginning to invite in new ways of thinking, new ways of speaking to ourselves, maybe new ways of expressing our needs and concerns, or of allowing ourselves to process our emotions, whatever it may be. So as any emotions come up today, I encourage you to allow yourself to just feel them, again, to sit with them, to breathe through them, not getting caught up in storytelling, but just staying present with the sensations of them and how they manifest in the body. Take just one more deep breath here. Exhale, beginning to bring that chest back up again. Okay, now we are going to go into our full butterfly. So again, you can find that pelvic tilt on the edge of a prop here if you wish. We're going to bring the soles of the feet together. The more that you move the feet out away from the body, the easier it will be. If you bring them closer, it will be a little bit more intense in the groin region. So find a good starting position for you. We're going to begin again by lengthening through that spine. Inhale, crown of the head reaching up. As you exhale, first folding from the hips, flat back as far as you can. Inhale, lengthen it up again. Exhale, chest out and down as we begin to allow the upper body to fold forward. Again, just resting those arms here. We aren't going to be pulling ourselves down into this pose today. This Yin practice is all about surrender, allowing the weight, gravity, and our body weight to take us into the pose. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Using that ujjayi breath, soften here. observing how each sensation feels in the body. Without judgment, without reacting, simply noticing, staying present for it. Inhale deeply. Exhale fully and slowly, letting go of anything that's not serving you in this moment, any distractions, any mental planning or storytelling. And observing it as it happens and coming back to the present moment. We have just over 1 more minute in this pose. Again, stay connected with that breath, being your own curious observer. Take 1 more deep inhale. Exhale. Slowly begin to roll that chest back up. Take your time as you find your way onto your back for our first rebound of the day. And again, our rebound is that mini shavasana to allow that fascia to slowly come back. Give ourselves a moment to notice how the pose has begun to affect us physically, as well as maybe mentally, emotionally, or spiritually. So gently tuck those shoulder blades down and back, perhaps opening those arms out to the sides or overhead. Breathing in deeply. Exhale. Body weight melting into the mat. Again, noticing any tingling, any buzzing, any changes that have begun to occur in the body. Breathing in acceptance. Exhale, surrender. Let's take 1 more deep breath here. Inhale. Exhale completely, letting go of anything that's not serving you in this moment. When you're ready, turning on to your left side, meeting me seated, center of the mat for our next pose together. So again, you can use that prop to just wedge the hips here if you wish. We are going to spread the legs here, straddle position, as wide as is comfortable without the legs falling in. Again, we want to make sure those knees and feet are facing upward. If you want to make it a little bit easier, if it's really intense, you can bring them in a little closer. And it's also totally fine if there is a bit of a bend in the knees today. So again, just meet yourself where you're at. Let's inhale, lengthen through the spine. As you exhale, folding from those hips first, think about flat back. And once again, you're welcome to use some support here. Inhale, lengthen, chest up and out, and then down. Finding your stillness once you have found your edge. And perhaps today, just keeping that straight back and walking those hands forward and not allowing that chest to come down is plenty for you. That is also a fine variation to take today. And take any of those micro adjustments that you need. And come back to your breath. And inhale, imagining the oxygen entering those areas of stiffness. As you exhale, imagine it melting away. That body area just softening, sinking downward into the mat. Breathing in, inviting in new perceptions, new ways of thinking, of speaking. Exhale, letting go of judgments, letting go of insecurities, letting go of anger. Anything that has been keeping you from moving forward. Breathing in deeply. Exhale that Ujjayi breath. Softening through the body. Staying with your breath here. Staying present with your mind. Each time that mind wanders, you can just notice the thoughts it's having. If it's having judgments, criticism, if it's planning the future or worrying about the past. And just take note of what purpose that thought may be trying to serve. Also noting how those thoughts are impacting your emotional reality as they pull you out of the present moment and into concern that isn't here in this moment. We have one more minute here. I'm going to leave you this space to follow your own mind, to stay present in your body. Taking one more deep inhale here. With your exhale, begin to use those hands to help walk that spine back up. All right, from here we're going to go into a side bend variation. So you may want a pillow or blanket again for this. We're going to begin by inhale, lengthen through the spine. Let's reach up our right arm to begin. And here I'm going to give you the option of first bending at that side, extending out through that arm. Think about opening this chest up here toward the ceiling. And you can keep this arm extended, or perhaps rest that hand behind the head here. Or you can place a prop on the leg and maybe just resting, bending a little bit more gently in that direction. So again, make sure that those hips are square, or tilted anyway off the prop that you have, that you aren't rounded backwards. We do want to be tall through that low spine, whichever variation you take here. So again, settle in once you have found your edge, maybe taking those little adjustments back or forth. And come back to that breath again. Finding presence here. Inhaling into that side body, the hip area. As you exhale, soften through that area. Releasing, even relaxing through the feet and the ankles, for the shins and the calves. See if you can relax a bit more through the face, the neck, the shoulder. And just observing the sensations that are occurring. Observing if they're making you want to react, to fidget, to come out of the pose. And invite the breath there. Sitting with this discomfort. When we experience discomfort, whether it's physical or emotional, we often have this tendency, this natural reaction to want to resist, to hold our breath, to tighten up. And this is almost a resistance that's trying to avoid that experience. But when we can allow ourselves to simply feel the experience, to allow those emotions to run through us, to feel them and to process them, then we're able to move through that discomfort with more ease, rather than fighting it and being stuck in that battle longer. And so this practice is teaching us to increase our threshold for distress tolerance, to be able to sit with discomfort and not immediately react, but begin to learn to be present with it. With your next exhale, go ahead and gently come back up to center. Take an inhale. Exhale, soften those shoulders down and back. Just take a moment to reset here, bringing that prop or pillow over to the other leg if you need that. Once more, we're going to begin by inhaling, finding that length from the spine. As you exhale, begin folding to that side, thinking about bending here through the hips, extending through that arm, and opening that chest upward toward the ceiling. Again, maybe inviting those fingertips to rest behind the base of the head here, or keeping those arms extended forward. And it's common sometimes for people to experience numbness in this pose in the arm. That is to be expected sometimes, so don't be too worried. That is often just a little impingement of a nerve in the position due to lack of flexibility or lack of stability through some joints. So we're going to come back to that breath here. Again, learning to breathe through, find presence, stillness in this experience, whatever it brings to you. Breathing in deeply. Exhale fully and slowly. Breathing in. Exhale, releasing anything you don't need in this moment. About 1 more minute here. Take 1 more inhale. As you exhale, gently release that top arm, taking your time to come back up. We're going to take another rebound now. So take your time to gently make your way onto your back again. Gently tuck those shoulder blades down and back. Extending those arms maybe out to the sides, feeling that nice opening through the chest and the shoulders. Breathing in deeply. Exhale, letting go. Releasing anything that's no longer serving you. Breathing in openness, lightness, acceptance. Exhale, weight melting downward. Just taking a scan through the body and noticing any changes. Take one more deep inhale. As you exhale, begin to turn onto your left side once more. We're going to meet in tabletop this time. So bringing those hips just above the knees, bringing those wrists below the shoulders. Starting in this position here. From here, we're going to step forward our left foot to begin between the hands. Heel toe that foot toward the opposite side of the mat. And then we're going to begin to allow this knee to settle down toward the mat. And so if you have a hard time with this today, coming down, you can maybe place a bolster or some pillows under the hip here for a little extra support. Coming down, you can allow that heel to come closer toward the hips. It doesn't have to stay parallel toward the front of the mat here. Go ahead and walk that straight leg a little bit further down the mat, extending here. And if you feel like you're really falling over toward that one hip, feel free to, again, use a blanket. Just simply place a little wedge there to keep you a bit more square. So let's inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, walk those hands out. Again, maybe this is enough for you today to stay up, but perhaps rest onto some pillows or bolster. Maybe come down to the elbows today. Wherever you're at is totally fine. So again, take some little micro adjustments. Think about pushing that right hip downward a bit, just seeing if that changes the area being targeted. And again, come back to your breath, coming back into this moment. Using that breath, especially that exhale, to move through this discomfort. Learn to sit with that discomfort. Society often teaches us to deny our feelings, to suppress them, to deal with them in unhealthy ways. And so this is a great space to be able to meet ourselves in stillness, a great way to be able to release some of those emotions, to notice how they're being held in the body, what sort of things are coming up with that mentally. And over time, beginning to just notice more connections, as well as just creating this space to release whatever emotions are coming up, to allow ourselves to feel them without judgment, to hold them as they are. So that energy can begin to leave the body. Breathe in, creating space. Exhale fully and slowly, softening. Breathing through this moment. We're going to be in this pose for 5 minutes on each side. Halfway through on this side now. So again, begin to use that breath, especially if it becomes intense. You can lift yourself out a little bit. Again, it's your practice. If you need to come out, you always are welcome to. We never want to force anything through pain, but if it's discomfort, that is right where we want to be today. So I encourage you to stay here with it, to breathe through any intense feelings. If you can, notice them, noticing how those emotions are being held in the body. See if you can begin to name any of those emotions. We often think of emotions as thoughts that are attached to them, but we know that we are having a feeling or an emotion because we first feel it physically in the body. So begin to get familiar with how your emotions manifest in the body, how you know that you're feeling them, besides just from the thoughts that have attached to them. Less than a minute and a half left here. I'm going to leave you this space to again go inward to observe your own experience here. One more full breath here, inhaling deeply. Exhale fully and slowly. When you're ready, gently bringing that chest back up, taking your time to make your way out of this pose, coming back to tabletop. Again, maybe take a little shift to the hips side to side here. If you need a little bit longer to reset between sides, feel free to pause the video. We're going to step the right foot now between the hands. Again, heel toe that foot toward the outer edge of the mat. Allow that knee to come down, and again, that heel can come back if you need it to here. Walk that back foot a little further, find that length through the hip. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Again, wedge that bottom hip if you feel like you're falling over one way. Find that length in the spine as we inhale. As you exhale, chest up, out, and then down as we begin to settle in here. As we come into this side, I first want you to just notice if the areas of tension feel any different, or if the intensity is any different on this side compared to the first side. Again, just taking note of that balance. Maybe taking those micro adjustments, any little rocks side to side, thinking about pressing that back hip downward a bit as you lift up through that front hip slightly. And then again, once you have found your edge, found the area that is speaking to you, go ahead and find your stillness here. Find your breath. Breathing in through the nose into that dantian. Exhale. Breathing in acceptance. Exhale, softening through that glute and hip, softening through the thighs, the ankles, everything melting downward toward the mat. Continuing to follow your own mind for a moment as you sit in this present moment, staying with this experience. We are halfway through on this side. Again, just observe if the mind has left the present moment, noticing what's there Any patterns of thought, noticing how that thought that had your attention has impacted your emotional reality. Then have grace for that, allowing it to fade away. Use discipline to come back to the present moment, back to the here and now. Again, observing any discomfort happening physically in the body as we settle into this pose. Breathing in deeply, exhaling fully and slowly, moving through that discomfort. Again, as you notice the discomfort that arises in your body, notice any internal narratives that tend to attach to that. As you're able to name sensations that arise in the body, perhaps just recalling if there's times in the past that you have felt the same feeling. Just noticing if any memories surface that perhaps the nervous system has attached to this feeling. Maybe any internal thoughts or narratives that attach to this feeling. Again, just observing that and then using the breath, the presence, to just ground, to breathe through this moment, through that experience. Not attaching to the thoughts, but simply observing whatever enters and allowing it to pass by. Just a few more breaths here. One more inhale. With your exhale, go ahead and come back up to those hands first. Just slide that leg out. Find your way onto your back for our next rebound. Let's gently lift those hips. Roll that spine down to neutralize those hips. Gently tuck the shoulder blades down and back, opening those arms out to the sides or perhaps overhead. Inviting this full body opening here. As we once more feel the echo of the pose. Taking that scan through the body, scan through the mind. Breathing in acceptance. Exhaling, letting go of that which is no longer serving you. As you melt downward. Follow that breath for a little bit longer as we enjoy this rest after that intense pose. Leaving space for that fascia to slowly rebound. Take one more inhale. Through exhale, begin to turn onto that left side once more. We're going to come back to our knees now, bringing those big toes together, creating some space between the knees for the belly. As we sink back, think about bringing those glutes to the heels if you need to. Again, placing a blanket or a pillow between this space. Or you can again use a pillow under the chest as well, or under the forehead. So let's inhale as we lengthen through the spine. Think about those glutes drawing down toward the heels. As you exhale, walk those fingertips out. Forehead coming down toward the mat. And so you can play around here with those arms being straight forward, a little bit further out to the side. This can change based on our bone structure, which everyone's body is a little different. So this class, and this Yin Yoga is actually about not just finding that aesthetic alignment, but that functional alignment. So what is right for your body and your shape and structure. So you're gonna allow that forehead to come down. Taking a deep inhale. With your next exhale, see if you can walk those fingertips a little bit further forward. Then with your exhale, softening through the shoulder blades. Any tension, just allowing the weight of the body to melt down here. Breathing in deeply. Exhale fully and slowly. Feeling held by that surface beneath you. Each present breath drawing you a little deeper downward into surrender, into a peaceful presence. Just over one more minute here. Enjoy this last moments being held here by this mat. Take one more inhale. As you exhale, maybe just roll up through that spine, pressing through those shoulder blades as we roll forward, and then coming down to our back once more. For another short rebound this time, tuck those shoulder blades down and back, extend the legs, arms out to the sides, palms up. Breathing in. Exhale, melting downward, and just feeling held by the mat beneath you. Taking a scan through the body, observing any changes beginning to occur. Enjoying this moment of rest. Breathing in deeply. Exhale fully and slowly. Go ahead and turn onto your left side once more. Coming back up to the knees for our next pose. All right, and for this next pose, I'm going to encourage you to have a blanket or a pillow again, perhaps. So first we're going to start with the knees under the hips, the hands under the shoulders again, and just begin walking those legs outward as much as you can. So we're going to be stretching these adductors, the inner thigh here. And then those feet are going to turn out about 90-degree angle from the shins there. So you can either stay up today, maybe tacking some pillows or something to rest onto, or if your body allows, we're going to lengthen through that spine, bring that chest down. And here, just make sure that you aren't falling really far forward or back. We want to keep the knees in alignment with the hips here, straight out from the hips. So again, take any adjustments, find any props you need to support yourself here. Sink those shoulders down and back. And then begin to settle into your stillness again, coming back into the breath. This is another pose that can be really uncomfortable or really intense for a lot of people. So again, I encourage you to embrace this experience here for what it is, to allow yourself to breathe through, to move through that discomfort with a sense of surrender as you release tension in the body, using that full exhale to begin to find a little deeper surrender, to learn that those sensations are not going to harm us, though they may feel uncomfortable. They are a sign of something that maybe we've been ignoring. And come to this breath, inhale. Exhale fully and slowly, seeing if you can relax any more through the groin and the hips. Breathing in. Exhale, letting go. Coming back to that vision of your future self that you brought to mind during our meditation. Again, just considering any things that are arising that you have room to let go of. Any emotions that are arising that perhaps you still need to move through. Noting if there's any things you can invite in, new things you can make room for in order to begin moving closer toward full alignment with that future version of yourself. Just over one more minute here. I know it's intense. Stay with that breath. You can do this. Breathing in. Sigh it out. Softening through the hips, through the thighs, and allowing that discomfort to move through. Softening through the face, the chest. Noticing how that feeling of resistance arises in your body. Beginning to soften there. Inhale deeply. Exhale, let it go. Full exhale, softening once more. Anywhere you can soften. Then go ahead, use those hands to support your weight. Begin to slowly bring those knees back in. Again, take your time here. It's that fascia, slow to let go. It takes that time to come back. So once more, let's find our way onto our back for a short rebound. Gently tucking those shoulder blades down and back. Arms out to the sides, palms up. Again, feeling the echo of the pose. Any changes happening. Breathing in. Exhale, letting go. Inhale. And exhale. Weight softening downward. Take one more inhale. As you exhale, find your way onto your left side once more. Oh, excuse me. We're going to stay on our backs actually this time. Go ahead and come back to your back. Perhaps if you're going to use some extra support here, bring your prop to the left side of your body. We're going to bring our legs up to a 90-degree angle here. Think about bringing that right leg over the left. And if you can, we're going to also bring that ankle or that foot around the ankle here. But if that's a bit too much, you can just worry about the knee being crossed. Cactus those arms at the sides, or maybe bring the left hand on that right leg. Take an inhale. As you exhale, we're going to allow these legs to drop to the left. As both shoulder blades stay grounded toward the mat. So don't allow that shoulder to come up. We want it to stay nice down, bringing that gaze over the opposite shoulder to complete the twist here. And again, if you need that support to not allow those legs to just hang in the air, or if going all the way down to the floor is a bit too much, place that prop under the legs here. Again, settling back into that breath, breathing into the spinal cord, the side body with each inhale. Each exhale, letting go, allowing that stagnant energy to begin to release, to move through the body. So the somatic release aspect of this practice is not necessarily something that happens in one moment. While some people do have very intense emotional releases in some poses, it can also be something that builds with practice. A little release one day, a little release the next time. So again, I encourage you to take this time consistently, often, to check in with yourself, to allow this space to begin to feel your emotions that are being held in the body, to sit with these physical sensations and with discomfort without judgment of it, but begin to just be able to experience it for what it is. Begin to be able to discern the needs or the desires, the underlying messages being expressed there. We're halfway through on this side, so I'm going to leave you this space once more to bring that awareness inward. Stay with your own internal experience here. One more deep inhale. Exhaling it fully. Gently beginning to untwist. Coming back to center. Here I encourage you to just plant those feet, lift the hips, roll that spine back down one vertebrae at a time. Make sure those hips are nice and neutral. Bring your prop over to the other side if you're using one. This time we're going to bring the left leg over the right. And again, if you can today, bring that ankle or foot around the ankle as well. Cactus those arms down as we inhale. Exhale, shoulder blades staying rooted to the mat as the legs begin to drop down to the other side. And just noticing any changes, any difference between the two sides, where that tension or stiffness is. Inviting that gaze over your left shoulder to complete the twist here. Breathing in deeply. Exhaling fully and slowly. Softening anywhere there's space to soften. Through the feet, the ankles, lower legs, through the thighs, hips, your glutes. As we hold this last pose, I'm going to read a poem called How I Became a Warrior by Jeff Foster. Once I ran from fear, so fear controlled me, until I learned to hold fear like a newborn, listen to it but not give in, honor it but not worship it. Fear could not stop me anymore. I walked with courage into the storm. I still have fear, but it does not have me. Once I was ashamed of who I was. I invited shame into my heart. I let it burn. It told me, I am only trying to protect your vulnerability. I thanked shame dearly and stepped into life anyway, unashamed with shame as a lover. Once I had great sadness buried deep inside. I invited it to come out and play. I wept oceans, my tear ducts ran dry, and I found joy right there, right at the core of my sorrow. It was heartbreak that taught me how to love. Once I had anxiety, a mind that wouldn't stop, thoughts that wouldn't be silent. So I stopped trying to silence them, and I dropped out of the mind and into the earth, into the mud, where I was held strong like a tree, unshakable, safe. Once anger burned in the depths, I called anger into the light of myself. I felt its shocking power. I let my heart pound, my blood boil, listened to it finally, and it screamed, respect yourself fiercely now. Speak your truth with passion. Say no when you mean no. Walk your path with courage. Let no one speak for you. Anger became an honest friend, a truthful guide, a beautiful wild child. Once loneliness cut deep, I tried to distract and numb myself, ran to people and places and things, even pretended I was happy. But soon I could not run anymore, and I tumbled into the heart of loneliness. And I died and was reborn into an exquisite solitude and stillness that connected me to all things. So I was not lonely, but alone with all life, my heart one with all other hearts. Once I ran from difficult feelings. Now they are my advisors, confidants, friends, and they all have a home in me, and they all belong and have dignity. I am sensitive, soft, fragile, my arms wrapped around all my inner children, and in my sensitivity, power. In my fragility, an unshakable presence. In the depths of my wounds, in what I had named darkness, I found a blazing light that guides me now in battle. I became a warrior when I turned towards myself and started listening. Good. When you're ready, go ahead and bring those legs back to center. We're going to untwist now. Gently lift those hips up, roll that spine down one vertebrae at a time. Extend the legs. Again, tuck those shoulder blades down and back, arms opening out to the side or overhead. And I'm going to invite you to stay in this lying position while I sit up to guide you through our closing Yoga Nidra. So go ahead and invite those eyelids to close now if you haven't already, bringing that attention back to the breath, back into the body. For a moment, as we inhale, exhale, feeling your body weight sink downward, just observing if there's any areas still holding on that you can soften down a bit more. Breathing in, feeling a wave of relaxation wash up from the toes all the way up to the top of the head. Exhaling out, a wave washes back down, carrying away any lingering resistance or tension. Breathing in, a wave of peace, a wave of joy, up the body. Exhaling down, a wave of surrender, releasing anything that's not serving you in this moment. Observing the rise and the fall of the breath. Observing the state of the mind and the motions for a moment. The rhythm, pace of the heart. And letting that go. Coming back to our intention today. I release that or let go of that which no longer serves me. Or perhaps out with the old and in with the new. Or any other positive present tense statement that you chose today, bringing that back to mind, holding space for it. As we repeat it a few times mentally, inviting the embodiment of that intention inward, feeling the chest open with lightness, peace and acceptance entering every cell of the body. I've released that which no longer serves me. Out with the old, in with the new. I have the freedom to change. Releasing that intention when you're ready. As it begin bringing your awareness to different areas of the body without moving it or doing anything. Simply notice that area. See if you can soften there a little deeper. If the mind becomes overactive with thoughts, or the body begins to feel busy, simply come back to your breath or the sound of my voice. Begin by bringing your awareness to the right hand. Feel the palm of the hand, back of the hand. Feel the thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, little finger, wrist, forearm, upper arm, right collarbone, right side of the ribs and waist, right hip, top of the thigh, back of the thigh, top of the shin, the calf, heel of the foot, sole of the foot, top of the foot, big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and little toe. Bring your awareness now to the left hand, feeling the palm of the hand, back of the hand, thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, pinky finger, wrist, forearm, upper arm, left collarbone, left side of the ribs and waist, left hip, top of the thigh, back of the thigh, shin, calf, ankle, heel of the foot, sole of the foot, top of the foot, big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and little toe. Bring your awareness to the right shoulder blade, the left shoulder blade, space between the shoulder blades, the middle back, the lower back, the entire length of the spine. Feel the back of the head resting, crown of the head, forehead, right eyebrow, left eyebrow, space between the eyebrows, right temple, left temple, right eye and eyelid, left eye and eyelid, bridge of the nose, right cheek, left cheek, tongue, jaw, throat, chest, sternum, space between the ribs, navel, pelvis, feel the top side of the right leg, observe the top side of the left leg, feel the back side of the right leg, feel the back side of the left leg, feel the entire right leg, heavy and relaxed, and feel the entire left leg, heavy and relaxed. Feeling the top of the right arm, top of the left arm, back of the right arm, back of the left arm, the entire right arm, heavy and relaxed, the entire left arm, heavy and relaxed. Feeling the entire top side of the body. Observing the entire back side of the body. Breathing in relaxation. Exhale, sinking downward in surrender. Breathing in peace and relaxation into the entire body, into the mind and the spirit. Exhaling, releasing anything that is no longer serving you. When you're ready, gently begin to bring your awareness back into the body, inviting some gentle movement into the fingers and the toes, perhaps rocking that head side to side. Take a final stretch of the body, any way that feels right for you. Slowly begin to turn, making your way onto your right side this time. Coming seated at the center of the mat for our final closing breath together. Perhaps inviting back that intention to mind once more. I release that which no longer serves me. Out with the old, in with the new. Taking just a final moment here to scan through the body, observing any changes that have occurred throughout today's practice, whichever way that may be. And with our next inhale, let's reach those arms overhead, inviting in our intentions we've set today. Exhaling, hands to prayer, hands to prayer at heart center. Just taking a moment of gratitude for your practice today. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me for week 2 of our Trauma and Triggers Yin Yoga Therapy program. Next week, we'll be continuing on with this series as we begin to explore nurturing our inner child. So thank you again for joining me, and I'll see you next week for a new class. Have a wonderful day. Namaste.